Hello and welcome back to, I think, episode 4, I believe, or should I do it like this? Anyway, it's like 4 episodes now of the things that I found while thrifting. Somebody requested this, I'm saying it again and again. This is the same night I'm doing all these episodes, but I can't do it all at once, so I'm breaking them all down and releasing them slowly. So I guess, kind of give something for people to watch. Anyway, moving on. This I picked up probably about 2 months ago. Love the Avalon Hill franchise. They made a whole collection of really interesting simulation games. One that I got when I think I was about 14, 16 years old, I guess. My mom got me one called Outdoor Survival. I thought it was kind of cheesy to get, but she knew that I was really into simulation things. I opened up the box and was blown away about how unbelievably realistic it was. It had everything. It had a survival guide on how to build a fire, and you actually had to read the manual to build a fire in the game so that way you could survive. You would starve, you would get hungry, whatever. Avalon Hill was freaking super advanced. They should have been making computer games nowadays. So this is football from Sports Illustrated. I remember seeing these on the shelves when I used to go to the mall back in the day, and used to just drool over having all this realism inside this neat freaking box with this beautiful art. I mean, not art, it's a photograph, but whatever. And all this text, all this stuff just telling you about all the wonderful things in this box. Oh my god, I would just freak out. What year is this anyway? Okay, I can't seem to find a year on it. Let's take a look inside. Now, I already looked inside. I know that there's a couple of things missing. It's the player cards where you can just stand them up on this thing. Here's the scorecard. First quarter, second quarter, downs and all that stuff. And these are like cards that you have to lay down for your defense and to help you build your strategy. There's like no real players, NFL players or anything like that. It's just all about strategy. This is like the results page. Tells you what's happening, if it passes incomplete and all that stuff. Kind of like Strat-O-Matic, except without all the player cards. Change table, the time. Oh, this is another one. Offensive plays. Another one. Jeez. Another one. I guess maybe 4 players can play this. Quite a bit. And here is the really cool looking board game. Hard cardboard stock, and you can tell somebody played it. Got some scratches on there a little bit. It's not bad. Ah, here we go. Revised fall of 1979. Awesome. Beautiful. Look at the quality of this. I guess something that was so cheap back then would probably cost us hundreds of dollars now. Because now corporations like to charge the hell out of anything that looks authentic, even though it's fake. And look at these instructions. Considering all the stuff, you would think that the instructions would be a wee bit bigger. And I'm pretty sure all the complication is shrunk down to very small paragraphs, so you probably have to read these over and over again to finally get it. Here's a Avalon Hill game parts price list. Loved keeping this with me when I had my old simulation board games. Ah, yes. Some of the more famous board games, war strategy games. Football Widow's Handbook. Hey, what is this? What is this? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, cool. I didn't see this before. I don't think you can see that. It's a little plastic football that looks like it's like a Bronx color, I guess. Wow. Wow, that really feels retro. Holy crap. That's really cool. Just the look and feel of it feels like the 80s. Nowadays they wouldn't make something like this because some kid will choke on it and there'll be a huge lawsuit that'll put everybody out of business. So anyway, here's the Football Widow's Handbook, which I guess is just like I don't know. I guess it's like a football for dummies. All-Star Replay. This is like a fake kind of newsletter to let you know what's going on with Avalon Hill and their simulations. And I don't know. Avalon Hill New Company. It's just some of the stuff to get more information. I guess a fan club or something like that. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I was really happy to see this. I did see some other Avalon Hill board games, but Wasn't sure if I should pick it up, and then when I got back it was gone, but I'm happy that I found this and picked it up. Just gotta find the little player cards and that's it. And this is set. This is beautiful, man. Sports Illustrated Football by Avalon Hill. Unbelievable find. I love this. Got it for $2.99. I know it's worth a lot more than that. Now for more movies. Blu-ray. You know, this is not really a big deal. I'm sure anyone can go right to a thrift store and they'll find these, but this movie definitely has retro feels for me. And this one was just freaking like hard rock cool. 300. Alright, moving on. This was a huge find for me. I was a huge fan of Electronic Gaming Monthly, and when I started truck driving about 2006, it was very hard for me to get access to the magazines. Eventually I stopped reading, but at one point I did have every issue from issue number 1 all the way up to about 160 or 180 or something like that. So just before this one came out, this is issue, again, number 200. Just like the other magazine I showed in my other episode, Game Informer. And this one has, just like that one, it shows their favorite video games of all time. And it starts off in the opposite direction, where it starts off, you know, the higher count and moves on down until it gets to number 1. Now, this was in excellent condition, but I've been taking it around with me in the car, and I kind of like got stuck in between the seats, which I really hate because it added this strange little fold right here that kind of makes it hard to turn the page. But oh my god, I'm so happy that I found this. I love Electronic Gaming Monthly. At one time they even came out with an EGM 2, which was like a issue that came out halfway through the month, just a couple of weeks after this. And it was a little shorter, but it had more updated news. Just you know, sometimes some extra reviews and other things. It was like a little extra that couldn't fit in the main issue. And here it is. Street Fighter 2 was their number 3. Pac-Man was their number 2. Opposite from Game Informer, who said Ms. Pac-Man was up there, not Pac-Man. And there's the Super Mario Brothers. Whereas the other one said Zelda. So, yeah. And one of the things that I like about this is this right here. Electronics Boutique Games. This was a great story. It's so awesome to see one of their old ads again. I remember walking to the malls and always seeing this. I loved this font, seeing all the letters kind of connected like it was some kind of neon. Blah, 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 blah. I'm stuttering. Anyway, moving on. So happy I found this, really. Okay, so I think I found this at a Goodwill. Maybe that guy's right. Maybe I should do my thrifting retro and show the finds at the end so that way I can remember where I got them. But I know I got this dirt cheap. I picked them both up. I don't have the Xbox or the Xbox 360, but I'm planning on adding those to my collection because I absolutely love these Halo games. I beat Halo 1, only played a part of Halo 2, and never got to finish it. Got Halo 3 now, so now I have them. And the best thing is I got the limited collector's edition, which got a little dinged up by the previous owner. You can see there's some like markings on here, but I mean, just wow. You know, little dinged up, whatever. It's awesome. It wasn't a sliding case. It's like a regular DVD kind of case, but it's made with actual sort of metal on there. It's you know, the typical Xbox Halo 2 disc and Conversations from the Universe. Here's the typical instructions that you got with the, you know, the Xbox version. I'm not sure what this is. I didn't look at this before. But it looks like it's kind of like a bit of a story. Just their dialogue of things that they were saying, logs that were lost on a computer or whatever. So, yeah, found that at a thrift store. Goodwill, pretty sure. Or it might even... No. This was Sabres. Again, another great find at Sabres. These were bagged. That's why I got them both at the same time, dirt cheap. And here we go again. This one's Xbox 360, Halo 3. Comes with everything in it. The game disc is in great condition. This one comes with entire sheet that shows you how to play the game, along with the instructions. It's just really cool. This was a great find. Cannot wait to play these. And I'm going to beat them. Alright, another book that I did read and I absolutely loved was Star Wars. This is Shadows of the Empire. Now, I read a lot of the Star Wars books back in the day, mostly in paper book because the hardcovers were a lot harder to find. But this was my favorite one, and they actually made a game based on it that was released on the Nintendo 64. This is an excellent story. If you never read a Star Wars book, you'll never see this on movie, you know, because it's not actually based on an actual movie, just using the name. But the characters have such a good story to them. They seem like characters that should be released on movie. And just look at that art. I mean, it's just really, really well done. Beautiful. So, you know, hey guys out there, release this on movie. I love this. Fantastic. If you haven't read this Star Wars book, pick it up. It was so popular at one point that, like I said, they made a game for it. Pick it up. Alright, now for another book. This one is so retro. Look at this yellow. It's so not today. And it just kind of like contrasts with the Superman and the, you know, the red and blue. This, man, this looks like something I would drool over when I was a kid. I did not see this back in the day, but having the book edition of a movie that came out was, like I said in a previous episode, a lot of us couldn't get to the theaters because of school, whatever, work. So these were our ways of finding out the story of the movie before the movie got released out on VHS. And it took sometimes 6 months or more for the movie to finally come out on VHS. These were our saviors. You know, and even though you read the book and got to know the story, when you finally got the VHS tape, oh god, and having the pictures in the book, oh my god, people would just freak out over these. I used to think she was so gorgeous too. Even when I was a little kid, I just had such a crush on her. You know, she had that cigarette voice, but back in the day I didn't know that. I thought it was kind of sexy. But Gene Hackman, he was so good in this movie. Just, Superman 4 I know wasn't a good movie, but, you know, like I said, it had Gene Hackman, Christopher Reeves, and even though it wasn't done well, it was still, you know, I was a kid then. It was still good, no matter what. So, here it is. This is Superman 4. It's probably not worth much, but talk about retro feels, man. This is super, super retro. This is a little dumb book that I just couldn't help but pick up. I was really getting into computers back when I was a kid. I really wanted to get into them, but I never really... I mean, I did. I got to the point where I was able to program my own games. I even made my own rip-off of River Raid, you know, that was made by Activision back in the day. I made my own game. It was called River Raft or something like that. But it was the same thing as River Raid, except it was done with a boat going down a river. So anyway, this is a Hewlett-Packard instruction booklet that gives you, you know, solutions to problems that happen with your software and stuff like that with your computer. And this just feels so retro, just with all the lines and the graphs and everything, you know. If somebody picked up the computer and they got this and they didn't know anything about computers, they probably had to return it. Because this just looks like a freaking, you know, algebra book to them. To me, it looks awesome. I had to pick it up. I got this out of Goodwill. Probably $1, I think, $1.29. I just had to get it. I don't know why. It just feels really retro to me. Now, you'll see a lot of baseball stuff coming up in this because I did love baseball an awful lot. Here is an unopened 1992 Topps traded baseball set. I never even heard of this. So this was a really good find. $10, you know, pretty pricey for just a small set. But this was everything that wasn't included in the Topps 1992 set. That includes players that were eventually traded that came from Team USA. A lot of the rarer cards. Top college players, promising rookies, new managers, players who changed teams, you know, trading. So this is, I'm dying to open it up, but I don't know if I should or not. I need to look at the value of this. If it's really pricey, then I won't open it. If it's, you know, not worth anything, then I'm going to dig right in. I'm dying to look at this, though. It's intriguing. What a great idea. I wonder if they still do something like this. I don't really collect today's baseball cards. I just like the old ones. You know, back in the days where strategy mattered. Nowadays, it's just hit a home run, game over. So, yeah, cool, huh? Love this. I'll have to look this up so I can see what the cards actually look like front to back before I even try to open it. Alright, let me do one more thing. Alright, more baseball stuff. So, these are a bunch of things that I found at Wild Bill's. These were all really dirt cheap. I think these are $1 or $2 each. They had many more in a drawer, but I picked these out because I really wanted 1986 baseball cards. This one I had opened before. Again, one of my favorite players, Steve Garvey, Phil Niekro, 1987 Topps card. Here's a Don Ross card of Andre Dawson. Just really good players right off the bat. David Cohn from the New York Mets. Another Don Ross. Here's the Topps cards that would show you some of the, you know, Pete Rose's history cards. You know, back then baseball cards didn't cost that much, the ones that were just released, so releasing cards that showed older baseball cards, and it was pretty common. It's Paul Molitor. Look, I mean, it's really got good players in here. So these little snap packs I'm going to have to eventually sort out, add to a better set so that way I can preserve them a little bit better. But yeah, this one, I'm not going to go through every one of them though, but here's Jesse Barfield from the Toronto Blue Jays, great player. Looks like they put little checklists in here. This one's got Jesse Barfield. I got a double now, but this one wasn't open yet, so I'm thinking that there's something good in there. And here, of course, Tom Seaver, fantastic player from the 1980s, Hall of Famer, and you know, he was great on the White Sox and all the teams that he played for. And he ended his career, I believe, with the Red Sox, and he had a great last year. Tony Gwynn, one of the greatest hitters of all time. Ted Williams had released a book called Science of Hitting, because, you know, Ted Williams is one of the best hitters out there, and he actually asked Wade Boggs and eventually Tony Gwynn to chip in on his book to mention the science of hitting, because Tony Gwynn was considered one of the best hitters of the time, along with Wade Boggs. And unfortunately he died at an early age, but he's definitely one of the greatest players in baseball, and for some reason oddly overlooked. He was a great player, a great hitter. He wasn't like a home run hitter. This guy had huge, great numbers with batting average. He was fantastic. And again, Steve Garvey, Padres. I never actually saw Steve Garvey play. I just loved his line stats. He was a great player. So, that's it for this episode. I still have more to go, so I will see you guys in the next video. Click the like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.